So who visits the Smoky Mountains and why do they go and what do they spend? The answers to some of those questions held by the man who joins us for our Newsmaker segment. Rick Laney is with Ackerman PR. And Rick, thanks so much for stopping by. We're going to talk about this survey that you conducted in 07 to 08 and then have added to over the last couple of years. The key mission for this was what?
Well, the questions you raise are fantastic questions that everyone that looks at tourism in the Great Smoky Mountains area asks. Everyone knows that there's 10 or 11 million visitors who come down here every year, but trying to decide who they are, what they're looking for was a totally different question, and no one really had the answers for that. Ackerman works with a large number of clients in that area scattered throughout Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and so we had access to some data, and we started recognizing that there was a new visitor coming to the area. These were people who had never set foot in East Tennessee or Western North Carolina before, and so we started using both a combination of proprietary information that our clients had and some public information. University of Tennessee does ongoing studies. The Gatlinburg Visitors Bureau, Pigeon Forge, all of those folks do studies. And so we kind of compiled information that we had, unique information, with the existing data.
And we have a little bit of that to show you now. And you can see there were some surprises in this data. In particular, you can see at the top there, January to March, some heavy times for Smoky's visitors who are first-timers who tend to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, John, there were two primary things that jumped out at us as soon as we started looking at this data. Number one was the high number of first-time visitors, 41% in some areas, and the fact that the old traditional tourist cycles had pretty much been blown out of the water. And we attribute that to two things. Number one, the changing school schedule. It used to be that you could set your watch by the spring break. Yeah. That's not the case anymore. The other thing that happened was we started to see a large number of year-round attractions and resorts in that area that draw people at times a year that you didn't used to see them coming.
Anything else that we had up there? The one thing that stood out to me was the fact that they're flying here and they're coming in a little bit larger groups.
Everyone's always said that the Smokies, one of the key benefits the Smokies had was it was within a one-day drive for a huge portion of the population in the U.S. That still holds true, and we still see a lot of automobile traffic coming into the area. But when you look at the visitors, you'll see that over half of them are coming from more than 200 miles away, and I think 1 in 4 comes from more than 500 miles away, and a large number of those folks are flying in. We're seeing a lot more fly-in traffic.
And it sounds like a lot of them want to see new things. So what does that tell your clients? They have to keep evolving and changing?
They're spending more money, they're looking for different types of activities, and they're staying longer. They're coming in larger groups, and so the whole dynamic of that tourist, the makeup of that tourist has changed in the last 5 to 10 years. I think that we will always have the traditional tourists that we've had that come down here. Our greatest asset will always be the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Folks come down here to see the mountains, to spend time in the mountains, but what they used to have when they weren't in the mountains, the choices they used to have are different than what we have today. And I think we'll always have that traditional Smoky Mountain tourist and combine that with the newcomers who are coming to the area.
Well, who knew we're in January and right in the middle of tourist season for the Smokies?
That's correct. Wow. In this market, that's what you see.
Rick, we appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for going through it with us.
Thanks, John.
We'll have you back, and we're going to turn now to our topic.